for joining me and the Old Grumpy Prosperity team for this week's episode of Grow Your Mind and Money. And tonight we are interviewing George Scott, the guru of entertainment and sports law. Now, George is one of the most powerful, creative, and bold lawyers in the entertainment and professional sports world. He has the experience of being a successful college athlete and entertainer. His wisdom has made a difference for a multitude of professionals working to navigate the ins and outs of the entertainment industry. George has experienced the other side of the mountain, the valley, and the mountaintop, and has used those challenges to empower himself and others in creating successful projects that stand on a foundation of integrity. George's business savvy, legal expertise, passion, and determination has him and his clients exceed all expectations. George is a champion for humanity. And yes, it is time for some spoken word to kick off our show today. Unfortunately, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry, Shani, is not in the house tonight. She is preparing for a very big show, but she sent word in her stead. Yes, we do have some poetry to listen to. Let's hear it. We sure hope you liked that. We know we did. And before we continue, it is time to see what money-making thoughts Darnell has for us today.
Thank you, Quiet Storm, and I'm glad you asked. You know, what if someone offered you $10 million and only the one condition was you had to explain in advance what you would do with it? Would you take that offer? And would you be able to come up with something meaningful to do with it? Life these days offers you an opportunity that is worth far more than any amount of money. Yet you often fail to seize most of that opportunity because you just can't commit on which way to go. It's not because you don't know. It's because you don't allow yourself to believe that you can move in the direction you truly want to move. Yes, you do know what to expect from life when you expect life to be the best it can be. And everything you like and dislike, and every opinion, and every frustration, and every joy you know. So admit that you know. Admit what you desire. Let it inform your actions and let it put the energy of passion into all you do. Love all that you love with all that you are and enjoying being who you really want to be. Life is offering you great richness, and what you must do is let yourself want it and let yourself know it is yours. Accept it now and live it very, very, very well. What I have learned about myself and growing my mind when it comes to the thing you know and the action I will take is to always be prepared with what I would do if the question or offer was put to me. Know what I truly want to do in life, taking the initiative to voice my desires in a competent manner so that I can be taken seriously about what my future plans are. Be present so I don't fall asleep at the wheel. When those types of opportunities come, I'm knocking, for I never know who might be willing or able to help get me there. I never want to question a blessing, but rather I want to be prepared with thoughts to help verbalize my goals when it is sent my way. Ronnie B., over to you for the interview.
Thank you, Voice of Reason. You know it's going to be good. In this part of the show, we learn about a challenge our guest, George, faced in having his dreams fulfilled, a challenge that knocked the wind out of his sails. Somehow, some way, he kept going and used that challenge to give him strength that has made him successful in every area he chooses to focus his time and energy. George, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here.
Glad to have you. Now, George, what we're asking in this part of the show is for you to please share an incident or time in your life that knocked the wind out of your sails, when the going got even rougher and you felt like you were lost. Be as specific as possible so we can truly appreciate what you were experiencing.
Absolutely. So I'm going to speak about the time, my last year of law school, before last year of law school, where I was put in a position to where I was going to have to drop out of law school. So let me kind of paint the picture and put it in context of how I arrived in law school. You kind of see how this builds up. So, I kind of took the long way, not the average attorney that went to undergrad and then went straight to law school and then left law school, started working. I had a couple of careers before that. I was an athlete, I was an entertainer, went to business school, was in investment banking, and then I went to law school. So when I was in business school, while I was in school, I got this idea that I wanted to go to law school. A couple things happened in my life that kind of, try to clear my path to where I am today. The one was the decision for me to go to law school as opposed to going back to the music business. More importantly than that was that I met my wife and I started a family. So, and my wife was in the same business program I was. And so when I told her I wanted to go to law school, she had a really, really interesting reaction. And it was one of those things where it was, sure, you could do that. You can go to more school after we just completed more school, but there's some conditions on that, So some of those conditions were I had to work, I had to go to school at night, and we had to be around family. So ultimately, that limited the choices where I could end up, and so I ended up going to school at night, working during the day. Now, I had my first child, the first year of law school, and I had my second daughter, the second year of law school. My first year of law school consisted of working for one of the largest investment banks in the world, then going to class, and then coming home at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So the only time that I saw my wife during that time was when she was half asleep, frustrated from work, and dealing with our daughter. The only time I saw my daughter through that time was awake was a couple hours on the weekend, because during the weekend was the only time I had to study and prepare for class. So after that first year, which my wife and I had a serious conversation, which essentially amounted to I had to make a decision. Either I was going to have a wife in 4 years, or I was going to have a law degree in 4 years. Well, after much prayer and support, realized that, we were fortunate enough in our careers. We looked at our bank account, and if we did things the right way, I could transfer to the day school, leave my job, and be able to get through law school. Now, according to our calculations, with a conservative budget, that means I would have $0 in the bank upon graduation. Therefore, I needed to have a job before I graduated in order to work. So we made this decision on faith. Now, also keep in mind that I graduated in 2009. We made this decision in 2007. So something's going on with the economy in the future that I don't really see in my sights. So
the economy was a little interesting at that time.
Yeah, it was real interesting. It was real interesting. And so, so we make that decision on faith. Just knowing this is our path, this is the right decision. It'll work out. We don't know how it's going to work out. It's going to work out, but we're going to choose family first, and that's what we're going to do. Now, the economy hits, laws change, and a lot of the scholarship money that I was getting, because of the fact that I moved to the day school, got taken away. So now a lot of this money that we were depending on recalculated was gone. And, my wife worked, I was in school, so we had daycare, we had another daughter coming, and we just didn't have enough money to survive another year of me not working. And we weren't going to go through another year of me going to the night program. So I didn't know what to do. I was top of my class. I was doing everything right. I had the great summer positions. At this time, I even had an offer for a job after graduation, regardless of the recession. But I couldn't complete my last year of law school. So I just want to kind of recapitulate a couple of things, because I'm like, oh my God, you did all this work, and I can tell that I've never met your wife, but y'all set a plan, y'all said we're gonna work it this way, and there was a huge part was your faith, but in the midst of that, did you find yourself blaming yourself or other people for how things were going? I did, and I've never been one to blame other people. I've learned long ago in my life that I'm responsible for everything. There's things that are not in my control, but everything that's in my control, I can control how I react to those things. But this is the first time I was in a situation where I had responsibilities of other people on the line. My wife, daughter, new daughter coming, and so much sacrifice has been put into me getting this degree and going forth with this career, and that was lost. I even, at this time, I had a strange relationship with my father. I had tried to build the relationship up, and I actually reached out to him to have him help, which he had the capability of, thinking that we had reached a certain position in our relationship, and he turned me down, knowing how dire my situation was. And I blamed him for, all those years of anger that I experienced growing up without him, ultimately culminated in blaming him for the current situation I was in. So, and that was the lowest point, and I started to question whether or not I made the right decisions.
Hmm. Even Dr. King had fear, doubt, and uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, and I know I interrupted you, but I think you were heading toward when you started to see a little hope.
Yeah. Well, and ultimately, I just, went back to my base, went back to my prayers, and knew that the decisions that I made were the right decisions. The decisions that we made as a family were the right decisions. I didn't know how it was going to work out, but it was going to work out. And so I just had to figure out how that was going to happen. And the only way I could do that was to knock on as many doors and to try to create an opportunity to take care of it. And one of the things, if you treat people the right way and you respect them and you show yourself to be someone with integrity and you don't always go for them for help, but when you do, you'll find that people will reach out and help you. And but it wasn't that easy. There were people who wanted to help but couldn't help. But I just, I was writing letters to everyone. I was writing letters to celebrities. I was writing letters to everyone. Please help in this situation. But it just so happened, right before the deadline came, my family ran into a particular situation that, we were blessed to get the money, and no more, no less, exactly what we needed to get through that last year. And, it was just a testament to the path that I was led to and the fact that it was the right one.
I love what you said about that. There comes a point when you see that the way that you were being with people all those through your life, that when you really did need to reach out, they did come through. And a lot of us don't think that, unfortunately, a lot of people don't get that. You, as it said, you reap what you sow.
Absolutely.
And most of the times we kind of look at that as, I'll say from one sense, we'll look at it like from a biblical sense, but we don't think about it in our everyday actions because a lot of us think that we're not going to need.
That's right.
That we're not going to need.
Right. And life is a beautiful thing. There's a reason why we're not the only people on this earth. And you never know who you're talking to, right? Whether it's the person you're walking past on the street that drops something and you help them pick it up, whether it's the person opening the door to go into the hotel, you don't know who that person's going to be tomorrow, next year, in 2 years, 3 years. And they may be the person that may be your best client, may be interviewing for your next job, or maybe a reference. You never know who you're talking to, and because I use that inspiration for myself. Every time someone told me no, or someone didn't pay attention to me, or didn't take my phone call, I said, okay, in about 5 years, you're going to ask for my time. And I hope I'm humble enough not to hold this against you. And so I always treat people like they're the President of the United States or the next President of the United States, because you never know, they might be.
Wow. And I have friends that I used to joke that I was the country guy because my experience growing up South Country, and now I grew up in Chicago, but I'm from the South. But I grew up was that there was a certain way that you treated people. You tip the hat. Hello, Mr. Jones. Speak to people, and all growing up in Chicago, wow, you speaking to that person, you don't know him. But it's like, as some would say, you was raised right. You acknowledge the existence of that other person.
Right.
And, I have a couple of friends who I'm constantly on them about, look the person, don't just walk past people, look them in the eye. You know, even if you just nod at them, a wink or whatever, acknowledge their presence. And one, that's part of being present. But then you just never know. Someone once said that you never know how the angel is going to look.
That's right.
You never know. You never know. But wow, that has just been awesome what you've been sharing. But wow. What words of wisdom will you share with our listeners from the theme, you know, when it comes to building wealth and prosperity?
Well, I would just say, know your path, know your purpose, and even if you don't know the big purpose or the ultimate destination of your path, know your next step and pray for that next step before you take it. And it may not make sense to other people. And a lot of times when it's a very powerful direction you're walking, it doesn't make sense to other people. And stay true to that path, even when it seems that the light is far away and where you're walking is very dark. I mean, it's with that concept that I am where I am today. If I try to explain the logic in some of my decisions in my life, people cannot understand it. You know, they just can't understand it. You know, why when I have I'm at top college playing football and a major college football level, but I want to get distracted with music. You know, why would I leave school for a week and take a bus from New York to Seattle to try to get a record deal? You know, and put my football career in jeopardy. Then why would I stop playing football to focus on music when I have an opportunity that's right there in front of me on one side? You know, all the way to law school, to going to law school I went to quitting my job and going to the day program and not making any money, but just living off my savings until the day I graduated. Now, none of that makes sense. If someone asked me, should I make this decision, I would say, no, that doesn't make any sense. But the problem is you're asking a human being, and I can only give you a human answer. What you really need to be asking doesn't have our limitations, and it can see those things. And that ultimate answer is your path. And you're true to that, and you put that at the center of your business, that's where success will come from.
Wow. I love what you've been sharing. It has been a blessing, and I'm moved, touched, and inspired by your clearness and authenticity. And it just hones forward that it's not what you know, who you know, but it's who you're being in the matter. And you get to say. So I would assert that it was who you were being, because logic and who you're being may not match. But who you're being, you know, people may say this is the logical way to do it, but who you're being will defy logic.
That's right.
Now, we will hear more from George later in the show, but it's time for a prosperous spirit. And it seems like Shani and Miss Cookie both are hanging out somewhere tonight, and they did not invite us, but Nakia, take it away.
Thank you so much, Ronnie B., and that was an awesome interview. Blessings. I am blessed by living in the spiritual life. The memories of my life are like photographs in an album. They document adventures, challenges, growth, and discovery. Some images vividly invoke the feelings, places, sounds, and circumstances of the past. I remember beautiful moments of joy when spiritual gifts were easy to see. At other times, I navigated painful experiences by drawing from my deep well of faith. All of my experiences contribute to my spiritual understanding and growth. I have known God as my source of strength when I feel weak, and my source of joy when my heart is brimming with happiness. I am blessed by living a spiritual life and knowing I always walk with God. It's time for our break.
Thank you, Nakia. Stay tuned for The Kitchen with Miss Cookie. Quiet Storm featuring music from a new artist on the corner and a whole lot more from the Prosperity Team.
Another day, another restless night, crying myself to sleep. Another day of relentless phone calls from credit card companies demanding payment. Another day wondering if filing bankruptcy or getting one of those debt consolidation loans is the only way to go. A friend said, "Stop crying. Call Sharon, the debt destroyer." Sharon and her team of experts work hard to help you eliminate your credit card debt and get you and your credit back on track. No bankruptcy? No loans? Your credit card debt eliminated? I called Sharon, and her team of experts went right to work with a plan that made sense. I am sleeping peacefully, knowing my credit card debt is being destroyed and my credit is getting back on track. Have your credit card debt destroyed and get a good night's sleep. Contact Sharon, the debt destroyer, at yourdebtdestroyed.com or call 888-431-2829, extension 2.
Welcome back. We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money. And of course, we do it all with love. Okay, something smells great. I think it's a dish Miss Cookie had been whipping up in the kitchen, but we know Miss Cookie's playing hooky. So, Ronnie B, what we have in the kitchen?
Oh, my dear, welcome to the kitchen. We have a great recipe to feed those hearty appetites that have been working so diligently on growing their minds and money. And tonight we have a recipe that was sent especially by the chef herself, Miss Cookie. It is called the Crock-Pot Italian Beef. Get those pencils and paper ready for the ingredients. You will need 1 beef pot roast, 3 to 5 pounds, 3 cups of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of onion salt. Now, as we know, Miss Cookie is heart healthy. You can just make that ground onion and 1 tablespoon of ground garlic and leave out some of that salt. You would need a teaspoon of basil. Now, a shortcut, because we know that some of the ladies out here, they need a shortcut because they don't know how to cook. one package of good Caesar salad dressing dry mix. And yes, we are billing them for that little promo. One medium onion slice. Your preparation. Place the pot roast in crock pot. Pour the remaining ingredients over the beef and cook on low all day in a crock pot. Shred the beef and return the broth for 10 to 15 minutes longer. Serve on warm split buns or with crusty bread. Yum, 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 yum. Well, it's time for the corner with Quiet Storm. Let's give her a smooch and a rose.
Well, thank you so much, Ronnie B. It is well received. Tonight, we are featuring music from Annie K. out of Perth, Australia, with her self-titled album, Annie K. From the website, Australian singer-songwriter and TV host Anika Carew, a.k.a. Annie K., is just 12 years old. She writes songs about issues that are close to her heart, such as self-confidence, friends, and world inequality. As you know, we ask our team to vote whether the track should get a smooch and a rose or if it needs more fertilizing. Our first track up from this young lady is called Come On People. Come on, people. Let's hear it.
Thinking about all the people who don't have a place to sleep. They live out on the streets, begging for something to eat. There are some who are defeated, giving half to those who need it. They forget the past, not the people they left behind. It's been going through my mind. Oh, it all begins with you. Come on, people, lend a helping hand. With you, my friend, we can make a change. Come on, people, we can fix this mess. If we stand together, united till the end. We've all seen the struggle of many millions around the world, taken from the wreckage, brings out the best of who we are. Oh, it all begins with you. Come on, people, lend a helping hand. With you, my
Well, you just heard it. That was Come On People. And let's go straight to our panel. People on our panel, is this track getting a smooch and a rose or a little fertilizer? Let's go right to You Know It. Let's go right to, well, let's see. Who do I want to go to? I want to hear from our Empress.
You know, I'm gonna actually stop thinking in my mind, saying, "Quiet Storm, don't call me out first," because you're doing research. Oh Lord, Miss Cookie, give me some of your truck.
Has the keys.
It did not really grab or hold my attention the way they could have. I was actually able to articulate some thoughts based on the previous segment and interview in the amount of time that music was going on, and I was very pleased with my end result. So I'm going to back up the truck.
Wow. All right. Well, we got our first little bit of fertilizer. All she said was that it just didn't do it for her. Let's go right on to Darronell.
We're going to give her a rose. She tried, and, I can respect that. So she gets a rose tonight, Quiet Storm.
All right. A little fertilizer, a little rose. Something's going to grow here. Mr. Ronnie B.
Well, actually, I thought the young lady did surprisingly well. She had a nice voice. The orchestrations of the music I thought were good. I'm giving her a smooch and a rose. I thought, especially 12-year-old, I thought the girl got, and the music was thoughtful. It was thoughtful. So I'm giving it a smooch and a rose.
And the plot thickens. And we definitely want to hear from our guest, George.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one in the smooch and the rose category, because that's where I am. I was actually quite impressed. I liked I liked her voice. I liked the lyrics. I liked the chorus. I liked everything was well put together. And yeah, she's young, and it sounds like she's got a future there. So hopefully that fertilizer just kind of makes that rose grow a little bit.
Yes, indeed. Yes, I think that was the purpose. Wow. Well, this was surprising. She sounded surprisingly mature to me, and I did like the way things were arranged. I love the positiveness of it all. So I will definitely have to give her a smooch and a rose. And we are moving on to her next track. Now, this track that we're about to hear, this one is called Hey Girl, and we hope you like it.
Hey girl, I know that you wanna be seen, but that ain't everything. Hey girl, I know that you wanna be queen, but that ain't everything. I change my clothes, I change my hair, I change everything, but they don't care. They don't know, they don't see me, they don't know anything about me. Hey girl, don't be 'cause nobody's perfect. Hey girl, you concentrate, 'cause nothing is perfect. Hey girl, there's more than what you see. Things always precious like you and me. Hey girl, don't be ashamed, 'cause baby you're worth it. Hey girl, don't be afraid, 'cause nobody's perfect.
Oh, all right. Well, you heard it. That was Hey Girl by Annie Kay. And we're going right back to our panelists. And we would like to start with Darnell. Darnell, what did you think of Hey Girl?
Hey, girl. We're going to give her a smoocher role. She stayed in her lane, and she did not try to stray out of it. She didn't try to make it, something. She didn't try to make a Nicki Minaj song and nothing like that. She just kept it nice and simple.
All right. All right. All right. Woo. Empress, were you impressed?
I was. Don't be afraid. Nobody's perfect. I like that. And it was right on point with what we're talking about tonight. So I was very pleased and impressed. It kept my attention. And I listened to everything that she said, and it moved me. So I was very pleased. So I'm giving her some smooches, and plenty of roses.
Wow. Excellent. All right. All right. Mr. Ronnie B.
I'm giving her a smooch and a rose. Now this track for me was a little more geared toward the younger folk, the little. But I like the nice upbeat, and the girl she got some skills. At 12, she got some skills. So I'm giving her a smooch and a rose. Skills. Yes, George. What did you think of Hey Girl?
Yeah, another smooch in a rose for me, and it's a nice teen bop pop song. Fits right in that pocket, so smooch in a rose.
Outstanding. Well, Annie K, it looks like you got a resounding all around 10 because I'm giving you smooches and roses. That was nice, really positive and upbeat. And as far as I'm concerned, her voice is like really, really great. Outstanding. We loved you. And if you liked what you heard from Annie K, you can check her out at ImaniK.com. That's IMANIK.com. Voice of Reason. Take us to break.
Thank you, Quiet Storm. Up next, Shiny Sunshine Lounge and Voices from the Ethers. Please stay tuned.
Oh, how special. Oh, beautiful, just beautiful. Oh, how adorable is that?
Edible Arrangements has a fresh fruit bouquet to make any occasion special. Our bouquets are made with fresh premium fruit, arranged in a variety of stunning displays. Make every occasion special with Edible Arrangements. Guys, the baby's over here.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay, yes.
And don't even think about touching my edible arrangements.
For pickup or delivery nationwide, call 877-DO-FRUIT, 877-DO-FRUIT, or go to ediblearrangement.com. That's ediblearrangement.com. Yeah.
Oh, my. What a nice looking baby you got there.
Make all your special moments. Moments with Edible Arrangements.
Welcome back. As always, we give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money. And yes, we do it all with love. Now it's time to visit the lounge. Well, Johnny, of course, is out playing. So, Voice of Reason, what do you have for us tonight in Shawnee's Sunshine Lounge?
Oh, well, hey, you test already taking effect, Nakia. We got the free drinks flowing. I see a mimosa over there, so you know she gave me the keys to the lounge, so we opened up the cabinets. Ronnie B, Quiet Storm. Come on over in here, George. Welcome. Sunshine Lounge, where we feature a mixture of goodies that will stimulate your mind, George, and maybe have you tapping your feet like Nakia at Quiet Storm. Tonight, we have an awesome poem by an old grumpy favorite, an old grumpy legend, Deep Blue Sea, performing Wet Dreaming. All right. That mic is hot, as Shiny the Poet would say.
Dreaming. I am not the one, but one of the ones, son, sent here by my father. Spill my thoughts like water. And if I can get at least one of you in here to sip this liquid light I'm dripping, then that means I'm getting in wherever I'm fitting in this poetic class system, caste system, deep blue sea. I didn't even choose the name, y'all. The name chose me, so now I be multiple personality existing in duality, taking the skin I'm in or spins through reality. I'm kind of frustrated by life's aesthetics and brutalities, but I'm glad I've got a gift to release through, or else I'd be a can of whoop-ass and mentality. Sometimes I feel like more of an outcast than the boys from ATL. Sometimes my own mama don't relate to me too well, and I spent 8 months short of mine doing fetal meditation time in her amniotic swell cell, sucking on my fingers before they even had nails. From the same watery womb as Neptune, I use sonar to detect kindred spirits and deflect doom and damnation. I'm a former constellation having fallen into an aquatic situation, somewhat like a cetacean, propelled by fluke and fin, releasing massive blasts of liquid light and the dark gas. I reach only to speak then, dive down deep to the assistance of current eye, creep and vibe all day with black-skinned mermaids, African sea queens, liquid love slaves, gliding through heaven's halo rings on the backs of jet black stingrays. I'm no whale or dolphin. I'm thought enclosed in a cranial cave, submerged below brain waves, too deep for some to swim with. Minds occupied by dumb shit, can't get with this. Minds occupied by their own dumbness, can't even hold their breath in concentration long enough for the inflation of consciousness. He's a fisher of men, we're all fish. Folks in search of happiness and the fulfillment of wish. The greatest wish of all ghetto-born fish is equality and reparational bliss. But do you really think they're going to give us reparations for the ones that owe it to us and trying to build space stations and playstations to keep us distracted while they laugh at how many cases of AIDS we've contracted? We're the favorite food fish for all special occasions like exploitation, degradation, segregation, brutalization, miscovered boys type experimentation, and dirty southern Caucasian cotton plantations. Stuff like that made us vicious, mad fishes, wishing for stuff we never had. Fish, blowfish, crack smack, blowfish, dogfish, hopefish. Spirits like that don't want to evolve into a new astral species. They rather flew where they live with the fumes of mental feces. There must first be evolution. There must first be evolution. There must first be evolution before revolution. Somebody boil some water because we need some esteem. Take that red pill and wake up from your dream. Follow your spirit, not your appetite for cream. Touch that fish next to you. You might be happy. A wet dream, wet dream.
Oh, yeah. Snap, snap, snap. Toe tap. My homie, Deep Blue Sea. Hey, panel, it's wet dreaming, getting some snaps, or some rotten tomatoes. Let's just dive right into it. George, hey, you in the lounge, kick back with me and Ronnie B and the ladies. What did you think about Deep Blue Sea, wet dreaming?
Snap.
Oh, yeah.
Wet dreaming, snap.
Oh, yeah, I can tell, man. You were vibing out. You were like, yeah, this is what a lounge should really feel like.
Yes.
Nakia?
Snap, toe tap.
Oh, you back over in the lounge in the cut over there. I could barely see you over there.
Hey, you're not supposed to see everything.
Uh-oh. Yeah. What you over there grunting about, Ronnie B? I see your cup is half full or half empty.
Hey. Snap, toe tap the brother Deep Blue Sea.
All right. And Quiet Storm, you know I haven't forgot about you. Chilling over there over there on the couch.
And I am chilling over here on the couch with my Baileys in Las Rocas. So that was outstanding.
Hey.
Oh, Nikita, I hear you. Well, I hope you enjoyed the performance by Deep Blue Sea. You can check them out and other great poets at Shiny Sunshine Lounge, airing daily on Old Grumpy, Houston, New York, and Pacifica. Check your local affiliate for playtimes. Now it's time to continue our interview with George Scott. Nakia, please take it away.
Thank you very much for some reason. So, in this segment, we will learn more about George, the aha moment that launched his legal business, and some of the challenges George faces in having his vision fulfilled. George, thank you so much for sharing and your willingness to be open and authentic.
Absolutely.
So, would you please share with us the aha moment when you knew in your heart of hearts that being a lawyer and specializing in entertainment and sports was the right thing for you?
Yeah, it's kind of two separate moments. Being a lawyer, was kind of something that was always told to me growing up that I should be. Never really had a particular desire to be. It really wasn't until my first day of business school where I realized that, I went to business school with the intention of becoming more skilled in the business negotiations for what I did in the music industry. But I realized I really wanted to be on the legal side of these transactions and on the business side. But by the time I got through law school and I was working in investment banking, I really didn't want to do anything in sports and entertainment. I had been an athlete. I've been in the entertainment business. I didn't want, I'm an African-American male. I didn't want to be a stereotype. I just wanted to be a Wall Street attorney. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay.
But the first day of my job out of law school in a firm, partner comes in and tells me that we have this unbelievable entertainment account in the music industry, and I'm the only person who understands the music business in the whole firm.
Wow.
So I got to take charge of it. So at that point, I can't say no. I'm to do it. And once I start doing it, all of my history starts to come out, my contacts start to come out, and I start to realize the reason why I was led to the path I was led to in order to be able to function in this capacity. And at that point, I realized I'm not going to fight it anymore. And I was given this experience for a particular purpose. So I'm just going to run with it.
Wow. I'm sorry. I got that. I got that. Wow. Okay, so what circumstances or people challenge you in having your business and the difference you make exceed all expectations? What are you doing to overcome those obstacles?
Well, probably the biggest fundamental challenge for me in growing my business and what I do is trying to educate my clients on the need for me. And, I guess anybody in business that's selling something or has service, and it's ultimately the challenge, right? I mean, you're trying to always, give them a reason to purchase your service or your product. But, I really, truly, the reason why I do what I do is because ultimately I want to help my clients prosper. I want to help them, build a career that is more than, their short lifespan in sports or entertainment, however long that's going to be.
Right.
And they're taught that, certain people with certain professions do certain things. And, so they treat a lawyer like a doctor in a sense. When I'm sick, I'll call you. When I had a bad deal and I need to get out of it, I'll call you. When I already made an agreement to do something, I'll call you to drop the document. But what I need you to call me when you're thinking about doing a deal.
Right.
I need you to call me when you're just thinking about what I need to do with my career, period. And we need to structure a conscious plan to try to implement a pathway to your ultimate goal. And then we will have less situations where we have a fire to put out. We have less situations where you're in a bad deal or you have a deal that's structured worse. And ultimately, when I do a documented transaction, it's much more efficient and also will save you money because I have all the background information I need.
Wow.
So the challenge is really trying to get them to know that I'm not just this phone number you call, one day after something happens. I'm the phone number you call when you're thinking about doing something.
Absolutely. Wow. So, would you be willing to share a disappointment that involves working with others that still have you shaking your head?
Yeah, it's kind of in that same vein. I just remember, early in my career when I started, to my own book of business, I got that call where, it wasn't a bad situation at this point, but I had a client who wanted to do this deal, was really excited about it, was real hyped up from the potential partner and what they were saying this deal was going to be. And, and I said, this sounds good. It just doesn't sound right. It's, it wasn't necessarily that it sounds too good to be true. It just didn't sound right. And I begged, I said, just slow down. Let's do this right. It's going to cost you some extra money. So let's just do this right. Do it the right way. Let's ask the right questions. Let's see the proper documents. And let's negotiate some things that are going to give you some protection if my gut feeling is right.
Right.
And they just didn't want to listen. They said, no. I trust this guy. And, time's running out in the window of opportunity and blah, 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 blah. I said, listen, this may cost you another $2,000 to listen to me. And if I'm wrong, so what? At least you can sleep good at night. But if I'm right, your decision to save $2,000 is going to cost you $100,000.
Wow.
Didn't want to listen. And unfortunately, my gut feeling was correct. And that deal went south, and my client being a celebrity, having a name, it's their name that got dragged in the mud.
Wow.
And not the other person, not the bad actor.
Right.
And, and I think about that, and I constantly question, what could I have done differently in that situation? But, that constantly gets to me.
Wow. responding based on emotions and not the facts.
Right.
Wow. So would you please share a specific moment where your efforts and the memories of your work and others did still brings you a smile to your face?
Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting. It was actually my first personal client that I had who was a retired athlete and had, a couple situations. They didn't play in the time where athletes were making huge bucks. And on top of that, this athlete was a very, very giving person and really didn't monetize their brand as they could have.
Okay.
And in my whole business model really is monetizing that brand through business transactions. And I thought I've never really, exercised that theory in practice. And he gave me the opportunity to do that. And so, I went out there, and I forced these relationships that he had, in his brand to, consist of compensation and negotiated deals so it was workable for everyone. And, at the end of the day, I turned, I don't say I helped, counsel this individual to someone who potentially could have been another statistic of a person that's shocking everybody because they're not as wealthy as you thought they were, into a very successful business person by simply structuring in a way and implementing my theory.
Wow, okay. Awesome. I'm sure they are very thankful for your expertise and willingness to have some stick-to-itness and go for it.
Absolutely.
Well, George, I know that we could talk forever, and myself as well as the listeners have gathered so much valuable information and put some serious thoughts on our minds to really consider in business practices as well as just in life in general, and how we need to take one step forward every moment and just be intentional about it. So it was awesome dialoguing with you, and I appreciate you being authentic and transparent.
Thank you.
Right now?
I appreciate the time.
Oh, absolutely. Right now, it's time to hear from our listeners. So we're going to hand it over to Quiet Storm and see what's happening in the ethers. Quiet Storm, what do you have for us? What are our listeners over there?
So much, Nikita. Well, our first voice from the ethers is from one Lorelei Bancroft, and she writes, "Love the discussion about commitment. It is lacking with too many people. Folks are committed until they find out you need to do real work. By the way, I felt like a victim of the bad music. Maybe Benny needs to be committed to a new career. Go get the fertilizer." Well, we definitely appreciate your touch of humor there, Lorelei, and don't forget to write us in the future. Our next voice from the ethers is from Cicely Armando, and she writes, "Heard the show earlier today. Love the poetry by Shani. We are trying to figure out a name. We'll shout out as soon as we come up with something good. Quiet Storm is amazing. The prosperity work is always right on time. She is deep and smooth. Yes, I am getting definite about my prosperity. I'm tired of seeing others reap doing half the work. It's my time, and I'm standing up for my rewards. I love this show, and it is positive and funny, but really serious about all aspects of wealth. God bless." Thank you so much, Cicely. That was really, 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 really right on point. We all appreciate that. And we actually have another voice coming into view. This one is from Cornelius Hatchett. He writes, Mr. Moore and Ronnie B's words about commitment were like a cold splash of water on my face. What am I really committed to, since I don't have what I really want in life? I say I'm committed to having a certain level of wealth, but I am more committed to looking good than doing the get-down dirty work that I need to get what I desire. Then Miss Storm and Nakia hit us with the prosperity word, and I knew I needed to get my sad act together soon. Well, Cornelius, don't be too hard on yourself, because recognition is key. We love to hear from our audience out there. They are the voices that make up our voices from the ethers. Darnell, time for break.
Thank you, Quiet Storm. Coming up in the next segment, the finale, food for thought and the prosperity word.
Yeah. Pay someone to give me coaching when what I need is to make more money. Let's get real. You are already making money if you can afford to pay a so-called coach to get you to the next level. Ever hear the old saying, those who can, do. Those who can't, coach. Seems like a whole bunch of so-called life or business coaches do nothing but sell the need for coaching. I was more than skeptical when it came to paying a coach to help me make more money in my business. Margaret Bassant's Elegant Coaching is about fulfilling desires now, not later, which blew me away. Week 1, I am critical, suspicious, skeptical, and disagreeable. Margaret trains us on seeing what is hidden from our view. Week 2, I am beginning to pinpoint the exact actions I take when making the moves critical to growing my business that are keeping it from growing wildly. I am less skeptical, critical, and suspicious. Margaret trains us how to put the past in the past and bring completion to decisions that are impacting our present and future effectiveness. Week 3, my company doubled its sales income and I made a lot more money, a lot more. I want more coaching. Margaret Bassant's Elegant Coaching, fulfilling desires now, not later.
Day or night, we give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and you know we do it all with love. Over to you, Darnell, for the finale.
Thank you, Quiet Storm. The finale. George, man, it has been a special treat having you on the show tonight. I am very, very much astounded by your story and listening to you share so freely. So thank you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate being here.
Hey, man. Let's just dive right into it, shall we?
All right.
What challenges do you see lurking in the waters that would try to slow you down or take you off the path from growing your business and having it succeed beyond expectation?
Well, you know, as always, as I see challenges, they reside in myself. And, you know, one of the biggest challenges is, you know, getting bogged down in the day-to-day and try to satisfy your current, you know, clients and not doing what you did to get to where you are. And in a way, you become complacent. And not necessarily mentally in a way where you think that you got it made and you're fine, but not prioritizing the pounding the pavement and the groundwork that you built your house on. You got to go out and maintain that foundation, and sometimes you get caught up in and always trying to please clients, not that they ever going to suffer, but you have to remember, you always got to be, in my mind, you always got to be acting like you're a startup every day. You get up, it's a new business, you're still trying to find that first client, you're still trying to find that first success story. Once you start acting in that manner, you're going to be in trouble.
Okay. I mean, I can relate to that. I mean, definitely bringing it back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, here's something that'll probably really get the listeners closer to the radio. Please share 2 pitfalls you've seen people fall into when it comes to being consistent in their actions for having success in business. You've been around. If you're close in age to Ronnie B, you've been around.
Well, in my lifetime, I've been in a lot of different areas, a lot of different circles, having run in multiple directions, trying to figure out what I was ultimately going to do. But, and I'll tell you, one of the biggest pitfalls I see is, people starting a business and trying to implement other people's strategies. That's not their strategy. It's not their way. They chase money because someone told them that they were successful doing something in a certain way, so they go out and try to do it. And then they talk to someone else and say, no, you can't go north. You got to go east. Okay, that's where the money is. I'll go east. And they're trying to run everybody else's path, everybody else's strategy, on everybody else's plays, and they don't even look at their own playbook. It's their playbook, it's their personality, it's their gifts, their weaknesses that they have to implement. That's the only way they're going to win the game. And the other thing that's related to that I see a lot of times is when you're acting like that, you tend to take on clients or take on customers that don't benefit you. You're so hungry that you start to sacrifice a little bit on your principles in order to get that first dollar, that first sale. But the reflection on what you're trying to do is terrible, and it's never worth it.
Wow. That is, you said a mouthful there, George. I mean, those are 2 very different pitfalls that, especially that second one, when you're too hungry. That's almost like the old line telling the young line, see, you went out there and so hungry you ate that skunk. We should have waited for this elk right here.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Good stuff. Wow. Well, George, I know you've been in sports and I've been in sports and I can relate to this. So please, would you share with us one practice you use daily to keep yourself in action and focus on the results you intend to produce?
Well, that's simple. Prayer. Constantly, daily, before I do anything, prayer.
Okay.
I know if I put that in front of me, all my weaknesses will be overcome, and I can truly achieve my dreams.
Wow. Hey, great advice, simple advice, keeping it true. I mean, I understand, down to earth. Now, George, you doing a lot, but you have to let the audience know, let us know, what do you have on your plate and how can our listeners learn more about the projects and activities you're involved with at this time?
Absolutely. Well, got a couple things on the plate, a couple things that are really exciting. One is still confidential. It's in the sports world, which is, working on a new sports league that'd be very, very interesting, and I think it's going to change the dynamics of sports and implementing some technology. Another one, which having been a football player, I'm very proud of, working closely with a company called Brain Century, which has a impact sensor they placed on athletic helmets to warn everyone else that an athlete has had a impact that's causing them to be at a high risk of concussion. And as we know, brain injuries are a big deal, big issue. And the market is changing, and coaches are starting to come around that something needs to be done to help this issue. And so, we're really pushing that initiative. We have the Arena Football League on board, some other college teams on board, implementing the technology. So I'm looking forward to doing some great things in that respect, and really saving the future of football, and encouraging parents to support their kids to continue to play. So, anybody can feel free to reach out to me. I always respond. No one's a stranger in my book. So, SCOTTGA@GTlaw.com. Feel free to email me. And then in respect to Brain Century, you can go to Brain Century, BrainCentry.com, and you can see what they're about and great things that they're doing.
Wow, that's really a great thing, because, again, having played football myself, man, safety concerns and health are at the very top of the list. So you getting in at the right time. I mean, man, that's a good thing, my man. I mean, are you on any social media or anything that people can get at you with, or can they follow you? Instagram?
Yeah, they can follow me on Twitter at GT Playbook. And then, of course, feel free to email me. But I'm mainly operating on Twitter and the social media. It's a great way to follow me, and always, posting some good things in the industries in which I operate.
Oh man, great. And hey, I'm so comfortable talking to you, George. We talk all night. What position did you play in football?
I played fullback.
Okay. Oh, man. See, I know I liked you because, I played tailback. Man, I could use a good man like you opening up some holes for me. So, hey, we may have to talk about some I-formation days or something like that later on.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, George, man, I sincerely thank you for being on Grow Your Mind and Money. And please, man, come back and visit us and let us know how your projects are doing and how things are playing out for you.
Absolutely. I appreciate the time. Thank you. It's been a pleasure and honor.
Man, hey, pleasure is all ours in return. I wonder what special dish Nakia has whipped up for us on Food Thought, because, man, I'm kind of hungry, George. Let's see what she got for us.
Thank you, Darnell and George. Food for thought. The strength inside. Let love and joy and goodness get you through. And let it get through to you. Let all the rest fall gently away. Take whatever the world offers and direct it toward what matters. Be strong inside, where strength makes all the difference. You don't have to be drawn into the negativity of the moment. You can choose to live at a higher level, not arrogantly, but gratefully and lovingly. You can choose purpose over pettiness any hour, every hour of the day. What gets inside and stays inside and grows is up to you. Imagine joy, and it is there. Imagine looking at life from a perspective of love, and you do. You really can transform difficulty into achievement, anxiety into peace, conflict into cooperation. Decide to nurture and use the strength inside and make it so. An action I see I can take for myself when it comes to the theme, the strength inside, is to take a moment, step back, and decipher what is most important to me. Those things that are not priority, they can either be pushed to the side or what I would consider a non-factor should be placed into the appropriate category and dealt with accordingly. But I must first tap inside of me and do my self-inventory, which is what we should all do frequently, and see what needs to be purged and what I need to hold on to. But more than anything at all, my first resource that is already inside of me that I carry with me every moment, every breath, every second, every blink, every thought, with every atom of my being is Christ, is God, is my God, Jesus, Christ himself. So into him I shall tap into, which is already within me. And I shall walk accordingly and trust his direction, trust his plan, trust his purpose, trust his position beyond even me. Not allowing my emotions or my situation or my outlook or my perspective to direct my path, but tap into him and trust him, have enough faith in him to guide me accordingly. So my strength that is inside of me carries me and allows me to come forth into prosperity, not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, socially, ethically, and to walk with integrity every moment of my day. So consider your strength. Purge, analyze, and move forward with grace and with peace in all that you do, as I shall, I can, I will, and I must. Quiet Storm, over to you for prosperity work.
Thanks, Nakia. Get definite about prosperity so prosperity can get definite about you. Sometimes we think we're being specific, when in fact we're being vague about our wants and desires. If you feel stuck or you feel you're not fulfilling your dreams, maybe it's because you're not being rigorous when it comes to speaking those desires specifically. I once met a young lady who was about to start a business. When I asked how much she wanted to make from her business, her response was, "I don't want to limit myself." She did not realize she was making a fatal mistake by not setting a specific goal or amount that the universe could work with her on to support her in manifesting her desires. It's like a child saying, "I want toys," You buy them toys, and then they say, I didn't want these toys. Failing to be specific about your desires, whether it's financial, relationships, or your passion, has you float here, there, and everywhere. The work. This week's exercise is getting definite about prosperity. Create a list of 3 financial desires that you want manifested in the next 30 days. Make sure you are specific when detailing the amount and the actions that you will have to take to make it happen. Say this affirmation daily. I am now guided into my true place with the true people and with the true prosperity, quickly, easily, and in peace. I am now coming to an innumerable company of angels. Share your list with at least one person daily and invite them to participate. Remember, demand a miracle.
A world of peace and prosperity, one listener at a time. Until next time, grow your mind and money. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.